Begin transmission.
You are listening to Corellian Run Radio, your route through hyperspace to the latest news on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Hi, and welcome to Corellian Run Radio. This is episode 131, and we're recording Sunday, November 2nd, 2014. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my co-host, Heather. Howdy, Heather.
Hey, Jason.
How are you doing, Heather? It seems like we've just been at this for how long now?
I've been pretty good. This week I haven't gotten as much gameplay as I wanted to in. I'm still working on leveling, and also I've been doing my normal operation nights. We're still doing Dread Fortress Nightmare, which is kind of, it's been kind of slow going just because we've had a lot of just random hiccups that we're running into as far as getting the group together, and I missed last week on Friday, so they can blame me for that. But yeah, it's been kind of hard. We're still working on that, even though it has been out for a while. But I guess it's okay. It's supposed to be hard.
How far are you guys gotten?
We are still working on Draxus. We're on like one of the later phases where I think we're on the one where, oh gosh, I don't even know, but it's the one right before the 4 Corruptors come out. That's the phase that we've been stuck on, and we've been doing it with 4 DPS, not 5 DPS, as has been recommended. So I guess we're just making it harder on ourselves. I don't know, but we've been doing that, and I tried the Gree event. Or not the Gree event. Oh god, the Rakghoul event.
The Rakghouls, yes.
Yeah, the Rakghoul event I tried, and I did it on a PvP server, which, oh my god, I got jumped by like 7 people at once, and I was just like, that's not even fair. Why would 7 people attack one person? It's no fun.
Why are you attacking me?
Yeah, and I was just like reviving too from something else, so that was annoying, and it was annoying because I didn't have like my full gear that I normally have on my assassin, so and I was freaking out like I can't handle this PvP server, and the person I was playing with was just like, well, that's how it always is. You just have to get over it.
You just got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Don't roll through an event like that by yourself. That's the key on a PvP server. Group up.
So that's what I've been doing this week. What's been going on with you?
Well, I've been trying to get in some gameplay. I mean, leveling some alts like we talked about last week. Enjoying that 12 times class bonus XP. That's awesome. When you turn in a mission, you like go up 2 or 3 levels. So that's always nice. So I've got my little Sork. She's now up to level 32. Getting almost done with Tat, and I'll move on from there. I have trouble with that. I see a little mission thing to pass that up. It's hard for me to do, but been trying to move on. But leveling on, and then like you said, I've also been doing the Rakghoul event. I haven't been doing the whole infecting people this time. I've just been like going around killing Rakghouls and stuff like that. We actually got in a group Friday night, and we instead of our normal raid, we just help a few of our guildmates get into the Rakghoul event because a couple of them haven't been in the game recently, and they're not getting back in and joining the game back up. So that's kind of cool. See people getting back into SWTOR. So we helped them with the event, got their rep up, and they were able to join the operation. So we took on Eyeless and took them down. And we were running through the caverns. I happened to see the lurker running around, and I was like, hey, you guys want me? Hey, the lurker's right here. And they're like, hey, hit it, shoot it. And I'm like, okay, if I shoot this thing, you guys are all going to show up, right? So yeah, they all showed up. But it took a little bit before they got there, I'm just saying. But no, we took it down, and I got the Crimson Racklin. We all rolled for it, so it was kind of cool. So
oh, nice.
So I got that one, and then actually last night my nephew came over, one of my nephews, and he was playing with me, and I happened to be running through the Rakghoul caverns, and I what are the ones that are just yellow? I think those are the noxious rat ghouls or something.
I never know anything's names. I don't know.
But the ones you get the DNA samples off of. And I happened to get one of those, and it had one of the fungal racklins in it. Just a drop, random. So if I'm hero status, then I can pull up my fungal rackle. So that was kind of cool. So I got those during the event. So I was happy to have those. But that's been about it. My rest of my time has been occupied with some stuff that was been going on with the site that's not so secret, but as people can tell, because this is our first cast where we're actually doing some video. We're not actually showing our faces right now, but we are hoping to do some other things in the future. So we got a little couple secrets we got going on. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. So, what else have you been up to, Heather? Anything else going on?
No, just actually preparing for the upcoming cantinas. For me, I have 2 to go to since I'm going to be going to the official SWTOR community cantina in about 2 weeks from now, and then also the Otini cantina this Saturday. So I've been getting ready to entertain and show people around. That'll be lots of fun.
That sounds like fun. And speaking of the cantinas, we have some stuff to talk about on those. We're gonna get into that later. So why don't we just go ahead and get into the news?
From the Newsnet and beyond.
So, starting off with the news, Heather, did you see this coming already? We talked about it last time about the little hint when they gave us the picture of, was it Baron Deathmark's Furious Walker? And then we got, let's see, Alex, there was a post in the dev post on Halloween, nonetheless, and it shows all the tiers of the PvP rewards. Did you see this coming this soon?
I wasn't expecting it. It's great. Even though there's not any pictures, I think this is what they need to be doing. I mean, even if they don't have all the kinks and everything all set for the weapon or the armor set or whatever the color crystal looks like, at least they can tell us what it is. And we're not wondering. And also, they're giving people a rating to go for. So I definitely have to go in and at least get my participation prize, my tier 3 title, and the bronze medal or trophy or whatever it's called, and the color crystal, the unique color crystal. I wonder what it's gonna be.
Well, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and pop up through the magic of video. We'll go ahead and pop up the different tiers there for people to look at as we're talking about this. So actually, yeah, what Heather's talking about is they're on tier 3. They are giving you the title and the bronze trophy, but the unique color crystal lockbox. It's going to contain a color crystal for every stat currently available.
I think that's really cool because then you can use it in and outside of PvP also.
That's
So say you're
awesome.
doing an ops and you bring out the Hawkeye crystal and people are like, whoa, where did you get that? And it's because you're in PvP ranked. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and for me, is it going to be in your collections then?
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be bind on pickup to whatever character you got the rating on.
Really?
That's what I think.
Ah, man. See, that should be in your legacy though. Anyway. That's just me. Because if it is in my legacy, I'm jumping in ranked. I can get my 10 matches in and be just pitiful. I'm just saying. There's a lockbox of every crystal. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, I'll quit drooling over that. Tier 2. You've got the same, title. And then you got the silver thing of the trophy. And we have a Furious Weapon set based off top tier PvE and PvP gear. And we have a name for the top gear. It's the Revanite. So we do know that now.
I really wonder what the weapon set's gonna look like because the latest one that they came out with pictures of, the one I forgot what the names were, but they're really big weapons, like you can see them from far away. They're really gonna have to top this, I think, to make it look better. Or maybe it's gonna be a recolor of those weapons. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope they're not.
Yeah.
Some of the weapons, the oversized ones, are fine. Some of them are. I'll be honest. At least for me, they look kind of ridiculous.
I like because I'm only really interested in the double lightsaber. I like it, but nothing can beat my lightsaber right now because it has the effects on the actual light part of the lightsaber because that's the part that you see. No one ever
Hmm.
looks at your hilt.
That's true.
So nothing will will beat that until there's effects on the light. Even though it does look really cool with the big fancy designs.
Now I have maybe now there are a couple lightsabers that have effects in the hilts when they're out. Of course, you can't hardly see those either, but
Oh yeah, I have one where it had a crystal in the middle that lit up, but
mhm.
yeah, it's just not the same. I'd rather have something big and flashy.
Listen to you. I want
Yeah.
somebody to know that is the saber I have. So
Mhm.
that's kind of cool. Yeah. So, let me think. What would I think of a weapon? Well, we got talking about this in my guild as we were running through the Ragdoll tunnels. We were talking about it would be pretty cool, not only if they would refresh some of these, but there's a way of making some of these where I don't know. I could choose the color of the weapon, but that's a little different topic.
Oh, like a weapon color dye?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be the next step, I guess, that they could do.
Yeah, because they do it anyway. So, but anyway, trying to think of weapons. Uh, I don't know. I like some of the ones they did. They actually took during the casino event and around that time with the cartel market where they actually made some of the rifles and stuff almost exactly like some historic weapons. They changed them a little bit, obviously, for Star Wars, but I thought that was kind of cool because they actually made them look kind of not. They were still sci-fi, but they made them like, I would buy that actually working. So I don't know. I'm showing out my geeksters. I don't know. But anyway, and then let's see, tier 1, the top tier. You get the color crystal lockbox, the weapon set, the unique season 1, the tier 1 title, and the gold trophy, and then the Furious armor set. And that's also going to be based off the top tier PvE and PvP gear, which is called the Revanite. And then, of course, the Baron Deathmark Furious Walker. So what are you expecting out of the Furious armor set? Now that's going to be something you'll be able to notice a little better than the other things.
I'm happy. I mean, I hope it's just not unattractive, but yeah, I think that's a really good PvP reward, even if I don't personally like the aesthetics of it. I think that's excellent to have just the whole set. I think that's a really, really good reward compared to last season.
So now, if you had your choice, because it's not out there yet, the reward's not out there. So Heather, if you could talk to a dev right now, what do you want your reward armor set to look like?
Oh gosh. Probably something Sithy. Long
Sethy?
robes. Yeah, Sithy. Long robes. Probably some kind of cool chess piece. It's hard to say because I put color dyes and everything on stuff too. I just pretty much I pick something that looks nice on my little character. I probably a crop top because I like those. Maybe not the underboob, but just the crop top. So I guess it just depends. But not everybody likes the same thing as me. And I don't think that the PvP reward should be my personal tastes. But that's what I would
Well,
normally
no,
dress
I
my
just put you on
character
the
in.
spot there. I had to put you on the spot there, because I know how you are with your fashion there on your characters. So I was just kind of curious what you had in mind. I'm excited to see not only the rewards that they're giving out this time around. Excuse me. I'm excited that they got ahead of it this time, well ahead of when season 3 is going to end, because you've got like a whole nother month. And so people have a whole month of now, like, hey, those are the rewards I want to go for. They have a whole month to at least try and obtain those goals. So I think, BioWare learned from the last time's mistake of not getting the notice out soon enough. So kudos to them on this. I think above everything else of the rewards that they've announced, I think the timing and giving people something to shoot for is excellent on their part.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. See. Oh, well, one more thing about the Furious Walker. What do you think of it?
Oh, it's just meh. I'm not a mount person.
You're not a mount person.
Yeah, I'm not a mount person, so I don't care either way. But I guess it's kind of cool. I appreciated the last PvP mount, the big what do you call those things?
The Rancors.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the big rancors. I've been thinking of racklings in my head this whole time.
You had the
Because
R.
of the rackle event. Yeah. But yeah, the rancor. That I appreciate that it was really bright and you could tell who had it right away. So I think with this mount that you'll be able to tell the same thing. That's someone that earned their tier 1 PvP reward.
That's definitely somebody in PvP, so that earns that. So yeah, like you, I think that's excellent choice for them on their behalf to actually set them aside to be completely different. So let's see what else in the news. Well, we had, like I mentioned, a little topic there about some of the top tier, the combat changes. They announced some of the combat changes, the global combat changes. They didn't go through another class, although they did tease me because the character they had up on the last Friday stream was a sniper, and I was like, yes! And then they didn't go through it, and it was just global combat changes. And that was Eric Mosco and one of the devs there, and I'm sorry, his name is eluding me right now.
Alex Motney.
Was that who was there
You
for the
right?
stream? Or no,
Right,
that's
I'm
the
not
PvP.
like crazy, right?
Was that the PvP?
Oh no, that's the PvP guy.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. I don't know who was. I forgot.
It was one of the guys that heads up the combat there at BioWare. So for SWTOR, but he was very helpful. But like I said, they had the character was a sniper, and I was like, yes, and then no. But anyway, so they did some things. And did you get a chance to see it yet? Any of the video?
No, it was an hour long, so I was just like, oh gosh, I'll just read everyone's notes.
Oh, I see what you wanted. Well, just the cliff notes of it. I got you.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I can barely even watch TV or movies. My very, very close friends will know that it's very hard for me to catch up on anything. So, for me to watch an hour-long stream, that's just, oh God, difficult.
Well, okay. I'll give it to you then. So,
Okay.
some of the highlights that I picked up while watching it, I'm sure there were some other people that picked up some other things. Overall, now this is one thing that kind of was one of the first things they announced, but it was kind of like, whoa. They said damage for everyone will be lowered back to the range it was meant to be. Now, they said, I'm kind of wondering how this came to be, but they said that damage, and so I don't know if people were getting gear faster or than they expect, or I'm not sure, or is how they were using their classes. Anyway, damage, the numbers they were getting damage was way above what it was supposed to be. So they're going to lower it. So when you log on day 1, when update 3.0 goes live, your level 55, the damage you will be doing will be less than the previous day. But by the time you get to level 60, you will be a little bit more than what you originally were, but the idea was to get everybody back on par of where damage overall should be for all the classes.
So it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Kind of like
thing.
that, yeah. So,
yeah.
But actually, I guess we're going to go the 2 steps back.
one
and
step
then
forward.
forward,
Yeah.
something like that. So
Well, that's good then. I mean, that makes it more relevant. It's not like, you just do Nightmare, DF, and DP again. It's just,
yeah,
you just run through it. At least it'll still be difficult,
yeah, because
which.
they said that's one thing I was talking about. Even they said that the Dread Fortress, Dread Palace are still going to be relevant because even at level 60, you're not be cruising like right now. You can go through Eternity Vault, no,
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
flat. That's not going to happen going through DF and DP. You're still going to have to really know what you're doing to go run through those. So, which I thought that was kind of cool. So it's like, well, okay, that content's past me. I won't go back to it ever again. So, but on the other side, they did say NPCs level 50 and lower, as you're going through your planetary quests and your class missions, everything like this, will be dying faster. Now,
Oh.
so it's not like they're lowering the health or anything like that, but it's going to be how they are going to take damage or something like that. This is going to basically it's going to remove the kind of quote slog as you go through leveling. So I
Oh,
kind of
that's
thought
kind
that
of nice.
yeah, exactly. I kind of thought that was cool. So as you're killing these mobs, like when would this guy just die? He will be dead. So that's kind of cool. So it's going to be moving people along better at a better pace. The big thing, and of course, this is everybody's talking about with this new um, discipline system and the utility asset, there is going to be raid and op buffs. Every advanced class will have access to at least one. So that is
I did, I did pay attention to this, which I think is excellent. So now, when you're in a group, especially if you have the same group over and over again, you can all kind of coordinate on which utilities you guys take so that it all works really,
yeah,
really well.
yeah. It's not like okay, I'm just like okay, going to be the Marauders, and the Bloodthirst and everything like that. Okay, that we
Hmm.
have to bring one of those along. Now it's going to be one of those things where your groups can be more like what you guys want them to be because depending on these different utilities that every class is going to be able to bring. So I kind of think that's going to be cool to see how that all works out in the future. Let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, dots was a big thing they talked about. Damage over time.
Oh, the
Um,
purge and the cleanse.
mm-hmm. Let's see, dots from players will not be able to be cleansed, but they can be purged. Now they haven't decided whether some purges like what is it? The sort can only purge anything with a force ability or mental thing, and then you have to get like an operative has to purge the others or something like that. So that's going to be they're still up in the air about who can purge what, but so dots from other players cannot be cleansed. But now crowd control can be cleansed. Interesting. That's going to make some
Hmm.
changes on PvP.
Especially like for my class, I have a lot of stuns and things like that. But yeah, I guess I'll just have to remember that they can't just interrupt; they can actually cleanse it off. So that's a little bit different.
hmm But now interrupts and everything like that will still work the same. It will just be the whole thing that now a crowd control item can be cleansed. Let's see, cooldown. You mentioned interrupts. Cooldowns for interrupts will be longer, so people won't be just able to spam their interrupts. Now they did
Is
bring
that
up.
for PvP and PvE?
Yeah. So now somebody mentioned, well, what about when you get into like, you know, certain aspects of operations where you have the one people that you have to interrupt
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
die?
Draxus and Dread Fortress. There's a lot of things you have to interrupt the corruptors and
So
yeah.
so they did say if there's something that is like not working out, that's going to be changed in the op itself so that you're not going to be like instant death just going in there. So they're taking that into account, but they are wanting the cooldowns between interrupts to be longer. Is one thing. Um, Channeled abilities, which you have some channeled abilities, I believe. Everybody has some, but they are going to be immune to pushback.
Oh wow. That's kind of nice. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in my spec, I just use Crushing Darkness, but that'll be nice to just be able to cast that real quick and not be stunted by whatever.
Mm-hmm. The resource cost also is going to be changed. You know how any of the channel abilities was like the one big chunk all at once that would take your resources?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to be the resource cost is going to be a little different. It's going to cost something initially, but it's going to be smaller. But then it's going to be like a cost per tick or something like that.
Oh, that's nice. So that, in case someone like knocks you back or something, you're just not, SOL of
Mm,
your of your resources.
exactly. So I thought that was interesting. I think a lot of these changes they're making is taking into account all aspects. It's not just PVE stuff they're talking about. They're also talking about a lot of PvP elements. I believe in this. Let's see another one. Some tank changes. I didn't get all these down. But the one I did bring in is that accuracy. Of course, accuracy is going to be handled a little different. But tanks, when their tank stance, is going to automatically get some more accuracy. And the reason tanks are going to want more accuracy is because in 3.0, taunts can miss.
Hmm.
That's going to be interesting in an op.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And
Whoops.
then their taunt is on cooldown for like, so many seconds and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now I'm wondering if you miss, does that does it cost another cooldown?
I actually don't think it does.
Yeah, because I was going to say in a miss,
Yeah.
usually it don't have to wait for the cooldown, but it's going to be based on the tank's accuracy, whether it misses or not. So, yeah. So if you're a tank and you don't want everybody's like, hey, get him back off of me, make sure your accuracy's up. And another stat, alacrity, which to me alacrity has been one of those. What does it really do? Well, it's going to basically speed up everything now. It's going to be speeding up the dot ticks, which is going to be based on a percentage of your alacrity. It's going to lower cooldowns on your internal procs. And I also believe it's going to be one of those things speed up your energy or your regeneration thing.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm like, that's going to be interesting. So is it going to be one of those stats now that everybody might want to take a little alacrity? As everybody before was like, if you're not a healer, why are you messing with that? I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Gosh, there's so many stats. I mean, I already have like a little bit of critical rating and I guess since we're going to level 60, we have more room for more stats. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll just figure it out. I'll listen to the theory crafters, see what they come up with and try and go with that.
Well, I've also wondered, everybody's talking about, well, Bioware's now with this new disciplinary system, they're basically killed hybrids. But now if they made a lot of these changes to these different stats, maybe this person might have a little more alacrity and actually, even though they might be the same discipline as somebody, they might end up playing a little different. I don't know. It'll be interesting as whether now stats might end up. Well, stats are always important in this type of game, but maybe stats might change how your particular character will play it, instead of someone else's. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Let's see. Another one that's going to affect PvP that I caught off the stream, bolster. Augments now will be taken into account in PvP bolster. Because as before, that wasn't being accounted for, and so that was like bonus. Everybody would have augments and still get, that extra. But now if you don't have augments, it'll recognize that you don't have augments now and bolster you up. So it won't be as bolstered up as the best stuff you can have, but it'll give you a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, line of sight. Where it used to be 180 degrees, now it's going to go back. It's going to be 270 degrees now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so you can't just stand just a little bit behind somebody off to the side. You're gonna have to be like directly behind them.
Is this inclusive on like a mall? Because right now I know with mall I can kind of stand towards the side and still hit them. So that would be kind of annoying if I have to go all the way to
Well,
the
I think
back.
that's just the line of sight, just so where they are not going to be able
Is
to,
that just like the aggro
yeah,
thing?
where they are not going to be able to hit you to target you. They'd have to like, I got to turn around at least where you in that 270-degree range that they can target you, I believe. Oh, and let's see, the last couple ones that I picked up, and there was a ton of them, and I suggest to everybody, and we'll have a link to them, to the actual video, and there's a link to an article on the SWTOR network about the combat changes that are coming to 3.0. But a couple other things that I just picked up. The sniper they had in there he was talking about the gear he's wearing, and he mentioned that it was some of the top gear they had on, and it was 198. So I thought, aha! So we know the level gear is going to be 198, and there will be 2 new sets of PvP gear.
Oh, okay.
That's
Like a Bro-In and Brutalizer.
probably. I mean,
God, I'm like not even full Brutalizer yet either.
you're gonna have to catch up, Heather.
I know.
What am I saying? I don't have any of it, so. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know you didn't get to see it, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of stuff they talked about, because there's a lot of other stuff with dots and everything that they got into, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that they got on there, and I feel like I need to watch it like 2 or 3 more times to pick up everything they got in there. So, is there anything that you thought of, or anything about that you thought was interesting?
Gosh, it's like a lot of changes that I'm excited to try out and see how it affects me in real gameplay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, whether you until you get into actually, it's one thing to see it on a live stream or hear them talk about it, but then to actually get in there and get your hands on it and then see what's going on with it and how it actually going to affect how you play your character will be interesting. So, but we will have to see, and that's it is now the 2nd of November, so we have what, a month?
Yeah, exactly 1 month.
1 month.
And 1 month for the pre-order.
The early access, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Can you believe that?
Yay! Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's after Thanksgiving and before Christmas, so there's some time to go, crazy.
Crazy. Well, let's see. And speaking of finding out new interesting things on 3.0, Community Cantina. The last one of 2014 is going to be coming up November 15th in Heatherstown.
Las Vegas, yay!
So, what's all going to be going on there, Heather?
Oh, it's gonna be at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. So if you're here in town, you can come to the cantina. I will be there. I will be there. My friends that I thought were going to be there with me are actually not going to be there because they pre-planned to come when the date was originally set for the weekend before.
Mm-hmm.
So if for some reason you're one of those people, and I've had a few people email me earlier this year saying that they have gotten tickets and all that for the weekend before, Utini Cast, they are going to be holding a cantina of their own, and they actually have gotten some goodies from the official SWTOR community team and everything like that, kind of as a compensation.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a link. There'll be a link on the show notes for that if you're interested in coming to that one the week before also. But I will be at both.
So we actually have some news as far as them having not just the one community cantina, but this will be the first ever Otini Cantina.
Yeah, we've actually Utini's met up earlier this year in February in Las Vegas, so I got to hang out with him then. But this is an actual cantina with all three of the hosts and, uh, Tio from Australia, and they're going to be doing a live recording with goodies from BioWare. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool.
That'd be a good time. Sounds like a good time. And speaking of a good time, we also have a few tips that will be coming up in our community buzz we'll be talking about. So yeah, Heather in her town in Las Vegas is going to have the opportunity to be at the community cantina as well as you can if you are in Las Vegas. And so we were talking about, we both attended some community cantinas, and so we came up with some ideas on different things that might, help you out if this is your first ever community cantina. So what are some things that we came up with, Heather?
Well, first of all, you should look up some previous Q&A questions and answers, or even things that they've talked about in their live stream, so you don't ask anything that has already been talked about. Like, say you ask something about the last live stream, like something about the line of sight. Well, they already answered that, so you're just wasting precious time that you could have used to ask something else that everyone didn't already know about.
Yeah. Well, or if it's something that maybe they've already asked, but you're not going to get an answer. Well, it's probably not going to be answered again, or so. It's better to kind of move on and try to find something. Maybe ask a question that you haven't heard answered. So it's going to make something, and maybe you'll find out something that wouldn't have been revealed if you hadn't come up with that unique question.
Yeah, like the hood toggle thing. I think they confirmed in the last cantina, I think, that no, they're not gonna be working on a hood toggle finally.
Yeah.
So don't ask that this time.
Let's see what you come up with. That's a good one. Ask your friends, guildies that won't be attending if they have any questions they would like to ask. I think that's a good one. To always ask other people if they can come up with questions if they're not going to be able to make it, and have you be their spokesperson.
Like my guild Despair, we have a website and forum, so I'll probably be posting something maybe in the next week or so for them to put any of their questions that I can try to ask. It's not a guarantee that I'll, get to talk in the Q&A or up close to one of the devs or the community team, but I can sure as hell try. But, I have a pretty good track record. 2 out of 2 cantinas I've attended, I've gotten to speak to either a dev or, the community team that's been there.
Awesome. Yeah. And usually, if you're around and you're willing to go around and talk to them, they see who's around there, and they're usually willing to answer and talk to you about some things. So they're really helpful with their time and willingness to listen to you and stuff like that. So.
And if you think about it, they're not really so different from you. They're gamers. They're not so intimidating as you would think. So just give it a shot. Just go talk to them.
Exactly. Let's see. One that it's kind of like no duh, but come early to the cantina location. This gives you time to talk to other players, meet them, and ensure that you'll get one or maybe more of the flash drives that they might be giving out. So those are kind of coveted things that you want to make sure you're there in time to get.
Yeah, if you come early enough and you get a flash drive and then there's still more, like at the end you can get a second one. Also, I went really early to the Boston Cantina because the Seattle one that I went to before, it was such a small venue. I'm sure they don't have this issue anymore, but since it was such a small venue, I didn't want to have to wait in the line. Thank God I got into the front for the Seattle Cantina. But for the Boston Cantina, I got there several hours early, and not only could you talk to other players, but if you look around, you might catch like Musco and Courtney just sitting around somewhere, which I did. And so I went and talked to them. I mean, I don't know if they were like off the clock or their salary or something, but I don't know if I freaked them out. I just said hi before before
Nice.
the cantina.
Well, yeah, I mean, and even just to say hi, whether it's devs or in part of the community team, that, hey, like you said, they're people and gamers too, so wouldn't try to probably badger them right before the whole event. But hey,
I didn't really badger them. I just said hi, and they said, "Oh yeah, we've seen you on Twitter."
that's awesome.
So yeah, go early. You might have a community team sighting, or
Right.
you can meet other players, which I've definitely done.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things, is to meet other people in other guilds and stuff like that, and just get to meet the players that are behind their avatars. Bring a cell phone, tablet, or anything that will allow you to store and share info with fellow players. So, if you meet somebody, you definitely want to have something that you can share that info so they can contact you, whether it be in game or something like that.
Yeah, I'll probably just bring my iPhone with my monster rechargeable battery, and either record using the sound recorder thing, and people can tell me their character names, but yeah. I don't know if I'll have time to play with everyone, but yeah, I'm gonna bring my cell phone and try and record as much as I can.
Nice. We have next on the list here.
Oh, and you can also save your wish list and special requests for when you can talk to the BioWare employees one-on-one. So, for example, if it's the Q&A, don't waste everyone's time asking for a pink and black color crystal, because it's probably just you and 5% of the people that are there that are interested in that. So don't don't waste everyone's time when you could be asking something really useful. And this goes back to our first tip on,
Hmm.
don't ask anything that has already been talked about, or don't ask anything that's wasting precious Q&A time.
Yeah. And the one-on-one time, you never know that if you save some of those personal requests, that might be somebody that might relate to it better on the one-on-one time period, and so you can talk about it, because like we said, they're gamers too, so it might be something that they're wanting. I wish we could do this in PvP. Well, they're like, I wish I could do that too. So
And then this kind of goes back to getting there early, but don't leave right when the Q&A is over. You can hang out, meet the other players and the community team if you didn't already. And so, if you just leave right after the Q&A is over, some of the good stuff might be afterwards. You might not necessarily get to talk to the community team or the devs yourself, but someone else might be, and you can listen in on that conversation and kind of hear some juicy news.
oh yeah, that's where I spend most of my time at the Chicago Community Cantina, was just going around and listening to the different groups as they talk to other people. I may get my 2 cents in everything, or 2 credits in, I guess, ever so often. But yeah, it was great just going around and listening to the other people talk and stuff, and talking with the devs and different things like that. And yeah, every now and then you did get the little snippets of, like, they would, like, they're human, and they might, say something a little bit on the edge. I'm just saying. So
But I really did enjoy meeting the other players. When I went to the last cantina, I was just alone, and I ended up making some pretty cool friends by the end of the day.
yeah, that's always great when you can do that. So. And then the last but not least, have fun.
Yeah, don't stress out too much if no useful answers come out of the cantina, because that just might happen. The community cantinas, they were designed to foster relationships between the SWTOR team and the players, and also to be able to hear your thoughts and opinions and input about the game to them in person, which is, it's a lot different in the forums or online. If you're actually talking to them in person, saying, I really don't like this, or I really do like this, I think it's very meaningful and helpful, and I think it's great that they put this in their budget to do the community cantinas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is the prime time for these things, especially with the community team, when they've got some of the new things like they're doing, like whether it's the streams or different things like that, to say, I like this, and I think this is great, and what you guys are doing on the forums, blah, blah, blah. That's exactly the kind of feedback that they're trying to get this time with actual players at the community cantinas, like you said, and so they can get that instant feedback to find out what's going on. So they can better relate that to the other staff. So yeah, and so that was just a few tips that we had from our experience going to some of the community cantinas. So we hope that those of you who will be able to go to the Las Vegas Community Cantina will be able to use some of those tips and help you out there. And for the future ones, you know that they're not done with them yet, folks. So we always got new things coming to the game, so there are going to be more community cantinas. I think we'll probably move on to our quick mentions. And right off the bat, of course, if you're checking us out via our new format, we are now doing our attempt at reaching into the video element of podcasting. So we are doing that, but we are working on a future special project that we're hoping that will be taking off. And so we're looking for writers and people that can help out our podcast to continue to grow. So stay tuned, and if you're interested in helping, you can contact us at corellianrun@gmail.com.
Also, if you're looking to get your guild notice, why not contact us about being on a guild ready check? If you're interested in that, you can also send us an email to corellianrun@gmail.com or me at heather@prettylittlesip.com. And I actually, I actually got into the guild called Ready Check on the Bastion.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got into that, which was pretty exciting for me. So I haven't really talked to very many people, but I don't know.
All
They
right.
seem nice.
All right.
So
we have someone in the guild now.
I'm infiltrating.
We're infiltrating. You guys couldn't get to us, so we're going to you. So this is what we're going to do now, Heather. We have to get this on. It's got to work now. We got to get this now. We got to get them on the guild Ready Check with Ready Check. That's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
And we are looking for guilds to highlight in the community checkpoint articles. Let the SWTOR community learn about your guild to help generate some interest in potential new recruits. So just email me at jason@corellianrun.com. Thank you to all the guilds who've contacted us, and stay tuned for new guild ready checks and community checkpoint articles. Don't forget the articles throughout the week on CRR.
We'd also like to make a shout out to our fellow podcasts. We have UtiniCast, Unnamed SWTOR Podcast, ToroCast, SWTOR Escape Podcast, Bad Feeling Podcast, Star Wars Beyond the Stars, and Enmity Podcast, Healing SWTOR, and Old Republic Radio. That's a lot.
Well, and that list that I gave you, I did it again. I did the wrong template. Tor Noob. We are not forgetting you. You do a great job out there. You don't forget Tor Noob. I always put the link when I come to show the actual article, but I just gave Heather the wrong template. I'm sorry. Tor Noob. Go check that out. That is a great little website and podcast. Please take a moment to leave us positive feedback on iTunes, and you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
You can also contact us through our website, corellianrun.com, or on Twitter. You can either tweet to @CorellianRun or to me at Heather_PLS or Jason at JT_HoloNet. You can also check out our Facebook page or Facebook group. Or I think you can still leave a voicemail on our website.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you still can. And you can also leave your questions or ideas for discussion topics to us on Twitter or by email at corellianrun@gmail.com.
That's going to wrap it up for us at Corellian Run Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Jason.
I'm Heather. May the Force be with you, or keep that blaster by your side, kid.
You've been listening to Corellian Run Radio, a Star Wars The Old Republic podcast. Tune in next time to hear Heather say,
See you at the cantina.
End transmission.